YouTube, what's going on? It's Tijon, aka Top Cyberdog, and I'm back with another video for the channel. Now, before we jump into the video, just giving another quick update on what I've been into. In my previous video, I told you guys that I started the ECA Cyber Academy, and we've been diving head first into coursework. It's been going great so far. I really do think that my time in my cohort will be the difference maker in me succeeding in the future when I do secure a cyber role. Besides that, we do have a couple of things in the works, but we're not going to talk about it until, the ink's dry per se. But I'm really excited. So without further ado, we're going to hop over into Let's Defend, pick us out an alert, put our SOC analyst hat on, and get to the bottom of it. Again, we are approaching 500 subscribers, and again, very humbled in the community that we're building up here. Like I said, once we hit 500 subscribers, I will be doing a small giveaway for the community. Nothing crazy, but it's something. And I think it'd be useful to anybody interested in becoming a cybersecurity analyst or a SOC analyst per se. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And again, thank you guys so much for the support. Without further ado, we're gonna hop right into it. Let's go. Here we go. So we are loaded into our Let's Defend account, and we're here at the main channel. And I already seen an alert that for some time I've been thinking about taking down. So why not now? So this alert right here, SOC115 WScript.exe usage as dropper. The type is malware. All right. So this alert fired off on January 31st, 2021 at 6:14 p.m. And we have a source address of 172.16.17.33 with the host name of Daniel PRD. And for those of you who want to know what PRD stands for, most likely that's production. So Daniel production device, essentially. That's my educated guess, just from my experience. So Daniel PRD, and we have a file name of injector.vbs. And then we have a file hash, got the size, and we can see for device action, it was allowed. And then we actually have the file itself, which is a live clickable link. So do not click this link if you are on a non-sandbox machine. Please do not click on that. Okay, so we're gonna take this alert. So we'll go ahead and take ownership, and like we always do in our investigations, definitely open up a Word document and copy the event details so our investigation will be seamless. So our alert has moved over to the investigation channel, and from there we can create a case. This will bring us over to our playbook where we can then run our plays and get to the bottom of this event. All right. So the first play, define threat indicator. Unknown or unexpected outgoing internet traffic, antivirus programs malfunctioning or becoming disabled for unknown reasons, unknown or unexpected services and applications configured to launch automatically on system boot, other. Okay, so based off of what we read for the alert, in my opinion, it's either going to be the unknown or unexpected services and applications configured to launch automatically on system boot, or other. So for right now, let's do other. If we need to go back, we can. But let's continue. All right, second play is to check if the malware is quarantined/cleaned. As we already saw, the device action was allowed, meaning it was not quarantined. So let's go ahead and select not quarantined. The third play, analyze malware and third-party tools and find C2 addresses. You can use the free products/services below. Okay, so now going back to our alert details, let's do some analyzing. Right off the bat, we can copy the file hash, and I already have some tabs loaded up that we can utilize. We'll go ahead and go over to virus total, and we will run that file hash. And already we have a hit for the injector.vbs, and 20 security vendors have flagged this as malicious. And then we have some details from virus total. Code insights. The code snippet performs a series of actions related to a string manipulation, obfuscation, and execution of code. Okay. The code exhibits obfuscation through the use of unusual variable names in the A function, which likely uses a specific encoding scheme to hide its underlying intent. Path likely obtained through the WScript variable. Okay, that's some good info. And I'm not sure what VBS is, so let's do a check for that. Any run, Lincoln tab. Let's see, hold on. VBS. Okay, a VBS script is a Microsoft Visual Basic Scripting Edition. What is a VBS file? A text-based script file that contains code written in the VBS script. So it's a scripting language developed by Microsoft. Okay. All right. So we have that info. What else can we check? All right. As I mentioned, the file was provided in the alert. So what we want to do is not engage in that download link. Let me click out of this. We can always come back to it. All right. Let me go back. Monitoring, investigation. All right. So the file, we can investigate this. We have a live download link to the zip file. So as I said before, don't run this on your host machine. Only interact with this download link from a sandbox environment. You don't want anything malicious getting onto your host machine, so beware. But what we can do is right click and we can copy the link. Go ahead and paste that link in your notes because it could be useful for our analyst notes at the end of the investigation. Once you do that, we'll take that copied link and we'll do a fresh search on virus total. And then after we search virus total, we can search hybrid analysis. Okay, so 3 security vendors have flagged this as malicious. It was analyzed a year ago. And we can see that the link is hosted through Amazon AWS. And like I've said in the past, just because the link has legitimacy doesn't mean that threat actors aren't using it to do bad things. So we already are kind of getting a hint that this zip file is malicious and Amazon is hosting the malicious file, unfortunately. But that's what the bad guys do. Try to use legitimate things to pass through the the defenses. So it is what it is. Okay, so what we can also do is go over to hybrid analysis, and then we can paste that same link, agree to their terms, and then now we just build out our sandboxing environment. Windows 10 is just fine. We'll go ahead and generate that report, and I always like to update this just to see. Okay, just because it says clean, I don't take that for what it is. So we can see the zip folder has been labeled as malicious, and then we can see antivirus detection marked as clean. If we go down, we can see the contents of the zip file, and we have the injector.vbs. So we have that script. We can click on that, and then that gets its own breakdown from hybrid analysis, and that has been flagged as malicious. Evasive. Ooh, what was that? Anything else? Okay, nothing else. Okay, I can't access that. All right. Let me just get my bearings. Okay. Now I don't know what WScript.exe is, so I already have something loaded up for that, and we can see Microsoft has their own write-up regarding this. So let's click on that, and we can see WScript. Windows Script Host provides an environment in which users can execute scripts in various languages that use various object models to perform tasks. All right, so it looks like some form of automation. Okay, we can note that because that will be useful for our notes as well, as far as closing out the alert. All right, something else we can do is monitoring. As you're working through your alerts, be sure to start jotting down important notes that helps tell the story regarding the alert and then your decision based off of your findings of the IOCs. So we'll copy the file hash. And another way of sandboxing is using a platform called AnyRun. Very useful. What we can do is paste the hash alongside AnyRun and see if that hash has been noted in any kind of past reports. The hashes are 1-to-1, so if we find a match, that means we can get some details regarding what the file does in a sandbox environment. And already we have a report. Clicking on that, for this AnyRun report, they have flagged this as malicious activity. They ran it in a Windows 7 environment, and this was in 2022. All right. There we go. And we can see that zip. And we can see malicious changes the auto run value in the registry. WScript.exe drops executable file immediately after starts. WScript.exe. Okay, just after reading that, I think the first play, we need to change that to the second option. If we're wrong, so be it, but I think that's probably the best one to go with. And it writes to a start menu file. Okay, so this thing is totally utilizing WScript for its attack. So now that we see that, let's go get the info for the endpoint for Daniel PRD and check out to see if we can make some correlations in the data for that endpoint. So I already have a tab open for endpoint security. we can query the endpoint via its IP address. And we can see Daniel PRD. And it looks like I've already had it contained from possibly previous alerts. I don't uncontain them, so just think of this as uncontained, just for a fresh set of eyes. So we can see that the endpoint is running Windows 10 and the primary user is Daniel. I don't have too many items. We have 5 processes. We have 9 network actions. So really only 2 addresses that they communicated with. Nothing in the terminal history and the browser history. The browser history all looks fine. Okay. I'm gonna copy this just because of the date that this was used. I'm just curious. That's the thing about being an analyst. You're gonna be curious about everything, especially if you're not familiar. So get familiar with your environment and you'll be able to weed out the bad things quickly. Okay, this isn't anything malicious according to virus total. We'll go back to process. Ooh, so we're back in processes and I can already see no process ID, no event time, but we can see the WScript.exe process name in which it was run on the endpoint. Okay, that's another indicator of compromise in my opinion. Let's go ahead and go to the logs and see if we can see anything regarding this endpoint in the outside world. Oh, not that address, but we want the source address. Okay, so we have 4 events and all are occurring right before our alert fired off. Yeah. So we have two around the 5 o'clock hour and then 2 in the 6. Destination port. Source port. What was it trying to do though? Okay, so 6:14 the alert fired off. No. We're not worried. Okay, this is why it's important to pay attention. We're not worried about the January 1st events. We are only concerned about the January 31st events. So let's be clear on that. So we only have 2 events out of 4 that we're concerned about for this alert. So our endpoint communicated out to the IP address of 105.103.253.204. And this was a minute prior to our alert firing off. So we're gonna note this destination address as a C2, possibly. We can do some analysis on that as well. All right, let's go back down to the second one to see if there's any difference. All right, no difference as well for that second event. It's still the same IP address for the destination address. So let's do a background check on that just to see its reputation on the web and where it's coming from. Okay, so we can check a couple sites. We can go to VirusTotal. All right, and it looks like this is in Algeria. And just because VirusTotal doesn't have it flagged as malicious doesn't mean it's not malicious at all. Okay. And another one, what we can do is do abuse PDB. All right. Let's get some more details regarding that Algeria IP address. All right, so this is from an ISP of Telecom Algeria. We got the domain name. We can copy this as well for our notes. Domain. And I'm just typing it out in my Word document. And I'm not even gonna butcher that name, but that's the city. Okay, all good stuff. All good stuff. Okay. So we checked the wire. And when I say that, wire is referring to the network. Check the wire. Check the endpoint. We got everything as far as IOCs logged. I can honestly say that I believe that this is malicious. So, back to the endpoint. When I said that this was uncontained, we would want to contain this. So, imagine I click on this and it says, do you want to contain? Yes, contain this endpoint. Then we're going to go back to our case management, back to our playbook. And this is going to start us over from the beginning, but that's okay because I want to make that adjustment. So I want to go with unknown or unexpected services and applications configured to launch automatically on system boot, just because of what I observed through the report from any run. If I'm wrong, that's okay. Second play, check if the malware is quarantined/cleaned. Again, device action, it was allowed, so it was not quarantined. Third play, analyze malware in third-party tools and find C2 addresses. All right, and we utilize AnyRun, VirusTotal, and hybrid analysis for this alert. I always recommend you utilizing at least 2 resources in any investigation, if not more. And based off of what we investigated, I can definitely classify this as malicious. All right. The fourth play, check if someone requested the C2. Please go to the log management page and check if the C2 address accessed. You can check if the malicious file is run by searching the C2 addresses of the malicious file. Please click access if someone accessed the malicious address. Otherwise, please click not access button. Okay. Based off of the network logs that we observed, I'm going to go with access, especially based off of the timing of our alert firing off and the logs from the endpoint. It's definitely been accessed. And then we've seen that the WScript was utilized on the endpoint as well, but we didn't get an event time for that process being executed. So I'm going to use my professional opinion and say it was accessed. Next play, containment. Please go to the EDR page and contain the user machine. We already did that previously, so we are all set with that play. Now we're going to utilize our notes from our Word document and input our IOCs, indicators of compromise. All right, so let me just go ahead and copy some things. And also we want to defang as well, just make it a good practice. You don't want anything live, just in case you forward this report to management in a PDF file or what have you. You just don't want anything accessible if it is malicious. So we'll type out zip file. Then next we will include the MD5 just type out hash, URL address, MD5 hash. Now what we'll do is type out my R key is on repeat. All right, and then what we'll include is that Algeria C2. And we'll include brackets to defang that. Yeah. Thank you. And then another IOC we can include is the domain for the threat actor in Algeria. Jeez Louise. Threat actor. Threat actor domain. Okay, that looks good. Go ahead and hit next. And then we'll go ahead and copy our notes. Okay. All right. So here is our analyst notes. On January 31st, 2021 at 6:14 p.m., our SIM alerted on a file name injector.vbs with an MD5 hash of file string. The file was observed on an endpoint 172.16.17.33, user Daniel PRD. We confirmed the file hash is indeed malicious. The file is a Visual Basic Script file that is a text-based script file that uses the VBS scripting language. Once the script is started, it changes the auto run value in the registry using the WScript.exe, which is a Windows script host that provides an environment in which users can execute scripts in various languages that use various object models to perform tasks. Then it drops the executable file right after. Let me adjust that. File. Then it drops the executable file right after with WScript.exe again. We observed WScript.exe being ran on the suspected endpoint. This device is compromised and has been contained for remediation. All right, let me copy that again to make some adjustments. Go ahead and go next. And we'll finish the playbook. We're brought back to the investigation channel. And we can click the close alert to wrap the investigation up. So for the event ID 47, I'm going to go with a true positive. I'm gonna go ahead and paste those same notes in like I always do, and we're gonna close this alert out and see what we got. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh. I know you saw that confetti. I saw it. All right, so we are approaching 190 days of activity on Let's Defend. I really can't imagine 200, let alone 365 days, but I'm taking it one day at a time. It's fun. So we can close this out and see the breakdown. So we are now brought over to the closed alerts. And we can see we knocked it out the park. So we got a full 100% on this alert. That's it for this investigation. Thank you guys for sticking along with me. I know this has been a long one, but sometimes these alerts take a little bit more thought and curiosity. All right, we're slowly approaching that 500 subscriber goal. And like I said in the previous video, once we hit that 500 goal, I will be doing a small giveaway to the community as a gift of my appreciation for everybody sticking with me during this journey of making content and getting myself out there. It's been a hell of an experience. So I appreciate everybody rocking with me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a note if you would like me to check out a specific alert, and I'll do my best. All right, you guys, Top Cyberdog, I'm out of here. Peace.